Party time.
Party time. And this is like an ultra recording day for us.
Yeah, it's a big recording day for us.
We did a bonus. We're doing 2 regulars. So
yeah,
we're just fucking plowing through this shit.
We're doing the damn thing.
We're doing the damn thing. Hi, Odd Fam.
I thought you were about to say patrons.
I was going to say patrons.
Because I was about to say patrons.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Oddities. And welcome back to Strange Town. I'm Cassie.
And I'm Kelly.
Oh, I put welcome back to Strange Town too early. I'm losing my touch.
It's going to be a long day.
It's going to be a long day. Doesn't matter. I've been inhaling too many paint.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, too many paint fumes for me lately. And I think it's just, I can't. Because I'm painting, guys, not because I'm sitting here like just actively huffing it. Just so everybody's aware.
She doesn't do that for fun.
I don't, contrary to popular belief. As always, all of our information is in the description. Check out social media if you want to follow along for a fun time. We've upped our presence, bitches. We want to be in front of all of you. And, of course, we also have links to our Patreon. If you'd like to donate to our show to support it, you get a bonus episode every week for as low as $1 a month. And you get access to all former episodes if you want to binge the ever-living shit out of that. We have merch. We've got a link there, too. Or you can go to our brand new website and check all of this out. It's odditiesstaystrange.com. And you can also, if you have any ideas for topics you want us to cover or even stories that you would like us to share on an upcoming listeners episode, you can write in there. Or you can email us directly at oddities.talk@gmail.com. All goes to the same place. I just don't know if filling out the contact form is easier for you. Whatever floats as your boats is. You know?
We won't tell you what to do.
We won't tell you what to do. How's my bestie?
The bestie's good.
I like that jean shirt, by the way. It's very cute. It's like a cute little
Target.
Target.
Yes.
Excellent. We had ourselves a fun little adventure to Target recently, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm. And this is my other wishful, get me into fall, bitch.
Hallelujah. It's fall o'clock. I've been wearing the same paint shirt for 3 days. It smells. I'm going to be honest, it smells at this point. I get sweaty when I paint. I don't know about, you, but, it's like a workout.
Painting is a workout, and it's also stressful because you're don't go where you're
don't
not supposed
fuck
to
up.
Go.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Labor Day weekend when we're recording this. It is Labor Day itself, so happy Labor Day, everybody.
Do you know what that means?
Summer's over.
It's officially spooky season, bitch.
It's officially spooky season. Welcome to our prime. We're entering our prime. Here we are. We've made it.
Hello.
Now it just needs to get crisp.
Crisp.
ASMR. Crisp. So I just need it to get cooler because we're going to be up around 100 the next 5 days or so, which is a big hell no.
And it's finally cooling down for us. It's and by cooling down, I mean it's just not in the hundreds and in the 80s.
Yeah, we're going to be spicy. It's times like these.
It's actually been...
Yeah.
Sorry. It's been cool here for the last 3 days. It's been in the 70s. It's been so nice.
Okay, so we have that coming after this 100-degree 5-day stretch, and then we're in the low 70s, and I'm bring it on, bitch. I mean, low 70s is still too warm for me. I want fucking crisp, but I'll take that relief.
It's been hundreds for months now,
yeah.
So this last 3 days has been heaven.
You love it, yeah, definitely. So I'm going to be staying inside for a lot of this. I'm not going to have the dogs out too long either. It's not good for pets, kids, so just remember that.
Nope.
And, we have, pardon me, I have indigestion is what I have. Excuse.
What a day.
Excuse me, all systems are go. I think we have this is a very short intro for us, but it's because we just caught up on the bonus, right? So it's a little hard.
Yeah.
We've made the mistake that we make. Me in particular.
Yep. Saved nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So if you want to know how we are, honestly, just listen to last episode because we only recorded that 2 days
Become
ago.
a subscriber.
Also become a subscriber. Yeah, subscribe to Patreon, please.
See what we did there?
See what we did there, and we're purposely withholding information. Not we just didn't plan this well. My topic today is a little cute, like fun one. Is yours heavy?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Mine was hard to find a lot of information on because, spoiler alert, government.
Classic. Conspiracy theory.
It's not, there's nothing to be conspiracy on. It's the government's going to withhold things.
The government's going to govern.
Yep.
Okay.
As they do.
Like they do.
You know?
Well, since yours...
I would say it is a little bit heavy, though.
Yeah, since yours is a little, like maybe a touch heavy, because mine's like 0% heavy. So would you like to kick us off?
I think maybe I should go first.
And we'll end on a high note. Let's party.
Yep. So today I'm going to cover the Heart Mountain Relocation Center, which, spoiler alert, it was not a relocation center. This was a concentration camp here in America.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it like an internment camp or something? So, yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, kids, a lot of people don't realize this because, spoiler alert, again, American school history is, for lack of a better term, pick and chooses what they want to teach us.
That is true.
I did not learn about these camps until I was in college, point blank. And I did not learn about them until I took specific classes to teach me about them. And it was because I was driving home from, I think, Las Vegas, and I came across one of these camps.
Did you? Interesting.
Yes. There's 10 of them across the U.S., all located in California, Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Idaho, Utah, and Montana.
I was going to say they're always in like those
Wyoming.
They're like in those states that you know exist, but you like don't really know what exists within those states except for like maybe one city.
Yeah.
Except for California. But yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say this. Calling it Heart Mountain is like such a branding choice.
Yeah, and I'll get to the reason why it's named that.
Okay.
But yeah, no, they totally, I think they wanted to make it sound...
Yeah, they're like, it's warm and fuzzy.
Nicer than what it was.
Right, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, mine is, I've chosen more of a historical topic today.
Hit us. We love history.
We, you know, we cover everything here at Oddities.
Histoire.
Histoire.
All right.
I like that.
I do.
But yeah, disclaimer, this topic could be disturbing to some of our listeners, so if you don't want to hear my topic, then by all means, skip ahead to Cassie. You will not hurt my feelings.
Arrivederci, and see you soon.
Bye-bye. So, the relocation center, or the internment camp, was located midway between northwest Wyoming towns of Coyote and Powell, and it was one of 10, like I said. It was concentration camps used for the internment of Japanese Americans evicted during World War II from their local communities in the West Coast. And this was done by President Franklin Roosevelt after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, upon the recommendation of Lieutenant General John L. DeWitt.
Of course.
It was believed that any Japanese Americans were a threat after the bombing.
Nope.
And they needed to be watched closely.
Nope, there it is.
Unfortunately. Construction of the camp 650 military-style barracks and surrounding guard towers began in June 1942, and the camp opened August 12th, when the first Japanese Americans were shipped by train.
Oh,
does this sound familiar to anybody?
Ringing bells, isn't it?
So again, you know, I don't know how horrific the conditions were because my research really didn't show much.
I wonder why.
The camp would hold a total of 13,997 Japanese Americans.
Damn, at once or like over its
over the next 3 years.
Okay, well even still that's
the
a lot.
The peak population of 10,767, making it the third largest, quote, town in Wyoming.
Okay.
It was considered a town, and it did have its own hospital and several other, like, buildings.
I mean, yeah, I guess technically, but it's like, let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did find it interesting. Like, they really did make it their own town. I hate saying is the prisoners is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
They were entrapped there. They were growing their own vegetables, their fruits, they created this whole agriculture.
Yeah.
Heart Mountain is perhaps best known for many of its younger residents challenging the controversial draft of Nisei males from the camp in order to highlight the loss of their rights through the incarceration. The Heart Mountain Fair Play Committee, led by Frank Emi and several others, was particularly active in this resistance, encouraging internees and refugees U.S. military induction until they and their families were released from camp and their civil rights were restored.
Okay.
So they were trying to draft them into the U.S. military.
Interesting.
And they were refusing it until their rights were restored. And you know what?
Good on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm here for it. I agree.
A lot of my research quotes this being an incredibly important piece of American history, but it not being said in history.
You know what?
Or not being talked about.
And there's so much of that in our history.
Yeah. And I'd like to point out yet again, it doesn't matter how ugly history is, you cannot cover it up.
No, you can't only show the pretty parts.
History's not going to be pretty no matter how you paint it.
No, history's ugly.
And it doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. You're going to have very beautiful parts of history and you're going to have very ugly parts of history. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. That's the case for, that's a global thing all around the world. All cultures.
Yeah. In 1988 and 1992, the U.S. government passed laws both formally apologizing to the Japanese Americans for their internment era violations of their constitutional, state, and personal property rights, establishing temporary fund to pay limited reparations. They were paid $20,000 to still living former internees and to their children who applied and qualified for them. The site of Heart Mountain War Relocation Center is considered to be the best preserved of 10 incarceration centers constructed during World War II. It's still standing. None of the barracks is standing, but like the hospital building and a few of the other buildings are still standing. Can
you take tours?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
The street grid and numerous foundations are still visible. A number of, and I guess some of what was the barracks are just the empty buildings are still there.
Okay.
Heart Mountain was named because of the mountain that it was built in front of.
I feel like they just they did it purposely though. They were like, this sounds
to make it sound
homey,
pretty.
Yeah.
There's said to be a friendly spirit who makes appearances during the daytime.
Hell yeah. I was going to ask, there's got to be some haunted shit going on here. Okay, so tell a friendly spirit like Casper?
Yeah.
That's good.
Apparently, this friendly spirit even guides visitors around the buildings.
Wow, it's a friendly tour guide ghost.
However, at night, when night falls, there seems to be more sinister things happening, and shadow people come out to play.
Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, you know.
What bothers me about all of this, and I've spent 5 weeks reading about this,
Oh.
5 weeks. I could not find one single bad report.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, if you've spent that amount of time researching that, like, it's so clearly that, like, a lot of this has been wiped or sealed or, whatever. And it's like, well, if we're going to be constantly, like, we give, I mean, I would advocate not strongly enough, but we definitely give coverage into the atrocities at, like, the concentration camps. We should do the same for ourselves. Like,
yeah. And, like, not to bring up other concentration camps in other countries, but Germany, they own up to what they've done.
Yeah, like, they own it. Now, I don't know that I necessarily think that, like, we were not...
I'm not saying...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that atrocious things like that has happened here.
But some shit happened at these places.
I know shit happened at these places.
Right, but that was the mindset.
But that was the mindset. So when President Roosevelt ordered this, it set a certain mindset. Mm-hmm. So putting them behind bars, for lack of a better term, because that is what was done, you can't tell me that they were not treated. There was guard towers. They were treated like prisoners.
Right. Yeah.
And while, yes, there was a former apology, and I'm glad that there was a former apology, there must have been some really horrific things done in order for certain things to fall into place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just, oh, you were sent to a camp, here's an apology. There was other things done.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So, yeah.
And also, if there is the spirit here, I do believe in shadow people at play. I always teeter on the side of, I'm not sure if this is real or not. However, if there's spirits at play, if truly, I feel like when stuff like that's happening, something happened.
Yeah.
And maybe not good things.
And I'm also bummed, right? Because I feel like they're stuck. But, like, why, then it begs the question, okay, like, why this happy one that's helpful during the day? Or maybe they're just, like, choosing to be there to do these nice things. Or, like, I like to think that, like, it's a choice rather than they're stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that this is an important thing because I think that the Japanese Americans had a huge hand in this and should be recognized for this. In the spring of 1943, the agriculture program launched at the camp, eventually leading to 1,805 acres of being cultivated within the Heart Mountain Project, with 20,000 total, including Wyoming farms, were incarcerees receiving temporary permits to work. The incarcerees worked on the Heart Mountain Canal System, which was a part of the larger Shoshone Project. Mm-hmm. They helped bring water to the camp, helping irrigate the crops, which would grow.
Oh, okay.
In the first 5 months of 1944, the internees excavated 2,816 cubic yards of canal, and 815 cubic yards of borrow pit, and laid almost 3,000 cubic yards of lining, laid over 4,000 cubic yards of rock paving, graded 340 cubic yards of road, and placed 1,600 cubic yards of gravel on the roads, according to the U.S. Bureau of Reclaimed Reports.
Wow.
The amount of work that they did for the state of Wyoming.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure they get credit.
They should, yeah. That's a lot of work, yeah.
And the Heart Mountain incarcerees grew 2.1 million pounds of produce.
Holy shit. I was going to say they had to have produced a lot.
And I'm sure that it wasn't all for them.
I'm guaranteed
they
not.
were growing this and it was being
exported or whatever.
Shared with. So, and also they raised livestock. 32,000 pounds of poultry, 93,000 eggs, 371,000 pounds of dressed pork. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
I don't know what it means to be dressed.
It's not your naked pork, it's dressed pork.
Yeah. In total, 51 million pounds of produce and 32,000 pounds, of total. It just, the amount of stuff they did for the country, essentially. Because when you think about it, that was not just for the state of Wyoming. That was not just for their camp.
No, they sent it out or whatever, yeah.
It does not... I never got a full end date of when the camp was closed, but I can only assume when the war ended in 1945.
Yeah, or thereabouts.
Yeah, but I'm glad that they received a formal apology.
Yeah, and some reparations.
Over 40 years later.
Yeah.
And reparations for those who are living and their children.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I like to shed light onto things that not everyone knows about. Sorry that I speak the ugly truth, guys.
No, I think that's a good one.
This is the Heart Mountain Relocation Center or camp.
Ugly history needs to be shared too. So, well done.
Yeah.
Good topic.
I just found this really fascinating. And like I said, I've been reading about it for about 5 weeks.
Yeah. No, you did a lot of work on that. Thank you. Mine is 0% related to any of this.
But I love the way it's said. So please, I'm so excited.
Could not be farther from your topic. This is today I'm covering the Tizzie Whizie. This is from listener Audrey. Thank you, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
We appreciate it. Hello. So I'm going to set the scene for us here. We're in the Lake District of England. So we're in jolly old. You need to keep your eyes peeled for the Tizzie Whizie. And what the hell is a Tizzie Whizie, you may ask? I also didn't know what the hell the Tizzie Whizie is, and now I do. This is just like such a British thing to me, but okay, whatever.
I want to know how many times you're going to say Tizzie Whizie and giggle.
Oh, every time. I can't say it with a straight face. How are you going to go and call something the Tizzie Whizie and not, not laugh? So, the Tizzie Whizie will make its presence known via a very small squeaking sound. It has, what does it look like? It has the body of a hedgehog, the wings of a dragonfly, the antenna of like a bee, and a huge fluffy tail like a squirrel.
Stop.
I won't. That's what the Tizzie Whizie looks like. It's a cute little thing, and it squeaks. And it's described as a shy, water-loving creature. We want to snuggle it. We want to take it.
I want to give it a hug.
I want to feed it like a little pot of honey or something, right? Like just like a little something sweet.
It sounds adorable.
So here's how the legend of the Tizzie Whizie came to be. Let's walk through this, shall we? 1900. Here we are in the Lake District of England. There's a boatman in Bowness, and he was known to be picture exactly like the quintessential boatman. He only wore woolly sweaters. He always had a pipe. He's oh my God, help me. The one that ate all the spinach. Popeye, thank you. Like Popeye the Sailor. And tourists at the time, they were flooding the Lake District. And he was like, okay, I got to make some money. Listen, we love an entrepreneur. Seize that opportunity. Go for it.
Take it.
He didn't have your traditional business skills or education around that. All he had was a boat and his brain. Check, check. What more do we need? So he needed a plan. That's what else we needed. And where else better to think of one than at the local pub, of course. Let's have ourselves a pint and do some thinking. So he wanders down to his drinking spot. He sits on his favorite wooden chair by the fireplace, which, same. Sounds like a prime location to do some thinking. And he drinks a pint. After the first sip, he imagines getting tourists to pay for him to do a dance on his boat. And he's like, well, that'd be something different, but no, that's not going to work. He didn't have enough money for dance lessons, of course. That aside, after a second beer, he decides, okay, I can rent my boat out to young lovers. Ooh, a little lake time rendezvous, a little
side business,
like a little afternoon delight, whatever. But no, He's like, there are fancier boats out in the region doing the same thing. My little piece of shit, it's not going to work. And he also probably was like, I can't trust young people with this only precious thing that I have in my life. Somebody's going to fuck it up.
They're going to sink
They're
it.
going to fuck it up. So he starts his third pint. Third time's a charm. 6 tourists from London walk into the pub. He looks at them. He raises his right eyebrow and he takes a deep puff from his pipe. And the night crawls on, and he musters up the energy to talk to this group that comes in. And they loved his local accent, and a young lady asked, quote, so you've been here a long time. You absolutely must tell us about some of the regional myths and legends. I love that stuff. I've bought hundreds of books, and I've gone on fairy hunts throughout England. And so the boatman takes another long draw from his pipe, and he looks around the room, and he sees a painting of a hedgehog hung on the wall. And he sees several flies running into like this cobweb lamp near it. And he tells them of the Tizzie whizie. And they loved his story, and they agreed to come on a Tizzie whizie hunt. So the next morning, they're all on the edge of the lake. They're not too far from the boatman's boat. And he's like, shh, can you hear that? And all 6 people from London are laying on the ground listening for a squeaking sound, because he said it's a squeaking sound, for like 20 minutes. And eventually one of them said, quote, by Jove, I hear it. And he says, there it is. Follow me. And so they crash through the trees and the bushes along the lakeside. And he's like, no, there, look, it went over to Belle Isle, which is just like a little bit across like this little stretch of body of water where his boat is. And so they're like, but I've been looking in that direction. I didn't see anything. And he's like, the boatman's like, well, you weren't listening to me at all last night. Tizzie whizzies are exceptionally good underwater swimmers. And so the one Londoner is like, oh, of course. I'm a dumbass. Can't believe I forgot that. So all 6 of them pay him a healthy sum of money to travel on his boat to Belle Isle. And then his plan paid off. He made more money than he thought possible. And this was just the start of this. So then he uses this money. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
He uses this money to buy ginger biscuits because they say, he says that Tizzie whizzies love ginger biscuits. So he buys them and tries to lure a Tizzie whizzie to his friend's photography studio. And there, his friend took a supposed picture of it and printed thousands of the photo on postcards. And he sells these as part of the tours. And he did that for the rest of his life. Now, some say nobody believed in the Tizzie whizzie at all. They just went on the tour because he was so charismatic, this boatman. And he was like, he wore these wool sweaters. And he was just like, your traditional boatman. They're like, sign my happy ass up. This is a good time. But others have reported seeing Tizzie whizzies even to this day. There is another version. There's another version of the legend, a shorter one. But anyway, if you look it up, listeners / you, of course, bestie, there is this famous supposed photograph of this thing. And that's the whole ginger biscuits luring it to his friend's photography studio aspect. So while you're checking that out, I'm going to start the other version of the tale. So local reports will state that the mysterious creature roams the shores of Windermere and was first spotted in 1900 by this boatman. And after the sighting, it's said that the boatman headed to the Stag's Head Hotel, told of his encounter with this creature, and then tells how in 1906, a famously photographed Tizzie whizzie was captured, and it was struggling and squealing, and legend says that the creature was then rushed to Louis Herbert's photographic studio opposite St. Martin's Church, where it calmed down after having warm milk and morsels of a ginger biscuit. And then, it was then after the photographer took the immortal picture of the Tizzie whizzie, and then it was said to have jumped off his table and flew out the window to regain its freedom. And according to legend, this quiet and shy animal has a very faint little cry. Is it not the cutest thing in the universe?
I need it.
Don't you need one? I need one. Put out your ginger biscuits and warm milk, people. And so anyway, it has this very faint little cry, which can be heard if you put your ear at water level. And according to the Lake District National Park website, each year, more than 1.2 million visitors sail on the lake with Windermere Lake Cruises, trying to keep an eye out for the mythical Tizzie whizzie. And that's all I have. It's a short but sweet little tale.
There's
It's
may be the cutest cryptid ever.
Is it not so cute? Guys, like seriously, if you're listening to this, just take a second. If you just straight up Google like the Tizzie whizie, like the picture will come up. And it's like this ye old looking photograph, right? And it's so freaking cute.
Ye old.
Ye oldie. It's from
she's not wrong.
It's like 1900, but like 1906, whatever. But it's super cute. And it's just like a cuddly little like, and I love that it loves like warm milk and little ginger biscuits. Like what the fuck? Don't you love it? It's like the perfect like fall.
It warms my heart.
It's like a perfect fall little buddy, right? Like, oh, it's the little Tizzie whizie. Anyway, this was a blast to read about. Love the story. P.S. We love a smart businessman. This guy saw his opportunity and took it. Love it.
He seized it.
Like, snaps. Smart. He was like, oh yeah, I'll give you bitches a ride out to the aisle to check it out if you pay me this amount of money. And P.S. Here's some postcards you can buy with this bitch on it. Love it. Love his sweaters. Love the pipe. Love the whole vibe.
The sweaters, the pipe, it's giving me Popeye slash oh gosh, what's his name? It's a Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood.
Mr. Rogers. It's Popeye meets Mr. Rogers. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, you know what? I love that he went and he was like, I gotta think of some shit to make some money. And then he goes to the bar and has 3 beers and he's like, I've got it.
Here it is.
Here it is. This is gonna solve it. So anyway, that's the legend of the Tizzie whizie. If you guys have ever seen one, please let us know. If you've ever heard of one, please let us know. I hadn't heard of this at all, so thank you, Audrey, again. This was a lot of fun.
You're the best, Audrey. Thank you.
Yes, and I want like a stuffed animal version, you know?
Yeah, me too.
Right? Like, would love that. But anyway, that's what we've got for you today. A little bit heavy, a little bit light. Totally opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of categories. But
it worked.
This was a killer episode, yeah. And as always, thank you for listening, and until next time,
stay strange.